Hey, it's Terri, your cheerleader of dreams. Today I want to share some of the biggest habits, 6 of them, that could be keeping you from your dreams and reaching your goals. Now, the ones I personally struggled with years ago and they were keeping me from success were habits 5 and 6. And I think the one that irritates me the most in others is number 2. So watch this popular video and let me know in the comments which ones you need to break in 2023. Hey, I'm Terri Savelle, your cheerleader of dreams. Let's talk about 6 bad habits to break this year. Oh, and be sure to subscribe by pushing the arrow below because I'm giving away a free chapter from my book this week to my subscribers. So let's start with number 6. Number 6 is overspending. Unsuccessful people don't have financial goals. Therefore, they spend and spend and spend. Bottom line, they spend more than they earn. They charge it. Now, I know this because I was one of them for years. But here's the key to getting ahead financially this year. If you don't have the money to get what you want, don't get it. If you can't pay cash for it, that new dress, that new purse, that makeup, that dinner, don't get it. Save up for it. Earn it. You can't afford it right now. If you can't pay cash, that's the thing. If you can't pay cash, don't get it. Enjoy the thrill of knowing you truly earned this thing. Now, did you know the biggest drain of money spent is on eating out? It's the little expenses that drain our accounts. That lunch budget of $10 a day times 4 days a week adds up to over $2,000 a year. Isn't that crazy? On what? A salad, a burrito, a muffin, a sandwich that we could have made at home before we run out the door. Well, wouldn't you love to have that $2,000 in a savings account right now or going towards your dream vacation? Instead, your financial future was eaten up by poor decisions. The Bible says in Proverbs, where there is no vision, the people perish. Well, that's true in every area of our lives. Where there's no financial vision, your money will perish. And mine did for years. However, when you have a financial target, a goal, a clear, compelling vision to save $3,000, to pay off a credit card, or go on a dream trip, it's amazing how it guides every financial decision you make. Now, here's a tip. Determine how much cash you can spend each week. If it's $80, for example, then put $80 in an envelope that says cash and use it for everything. Eating out, coffee, gas, everything. They've proven we spend 34% less when we use cash. Why? Because it hurts. It hurts to spend cash. So only spend when you have the cash to get it. Number 5, the 5th bad habit, watching too much TV. Now, life is meant to be lived, not watched. Unsuccessful people waste valuable time watching others live their dreams. And it's easy to do. Watching TV is just as much of a habit as brushing our teeth. We come in from work, plop down on a sofa, and grab the remote. 4 hours later, we get up and go do the next habit. We get ready for bed. And we do it again the next day. Well, according to a recent study, the average American is watching over 4 hours of TV a day. That's over 30 hours a week in front of a TV set. Or think about it this way, more than 1 full day out of 7. Can you believe that? Now, it's truly shocking when you eliminate 1 hour. I'm talking about just 1 hour of TV time to do something productive. You will be amazed at what you can accomplish in just 60 minutes. You could clean an entire room, read a couple chapters, walk off a few hundred calories, become more fluent in a new language, learn a new lesson, brainstorm an idea that could change your life. So I want to encourage you, set a goal to eliminate 1 hour a night to not watch TV, but do something productive that just gets you closer to your goals. Not only do I want to help you break bad habits, but also gain the right habits that will set you up for success this year. In fact, this week, I'm giving my subscribers a free chapter from my book, The 5 Things Successful People Do Before 8 a.m. Now, this free download will teach you the 5 morning habits for a successful life. So all you have to do is click the link in the description to get your free chapter today. So, another habit you need to steer clear from is number 4, criticizing others. In other words, Are you so busy watching other people live their lives that you miss out on your own? What about your unique goals and dreams and aspirations? Don't forget who you are and what you should be doing instead of worrying about what everybody else is doing. Now remember this, gossiping, this is how I like to describe it. It's kind of like throwing a boomerang. You know, they say gossiping is like what you toss out, it comes back to you. So it is like a boomerang. In fact, Galatians 6:7 says, a man reaps what he sows, right? So from this scripture, we can see that when you talk bad about other people, you're literally sowing seed, so to speak, for others to talk bad about you. When you put people down, you're sowing seed for others to put you down. When you make fun of someone, you're sowing seed for others to make fun of you. It's boomerang, isn't it? Now remember this quote as a way of identifying where people are in their mindset and even to check up on yourself from time to time. Listen to this quote. It says, big minds talk about ideas. Average minds talk about events. Small minds talk about people. Refuse to be labeled as small-minded. In fact, I love the Pinterest graphic that says, I'm too busy watering my own grass to notice if yours is greener. That's the attitude of a successful person. So when you hear people engaging in criticism about people, divert the conversation to something positive or shock them by paying that person a compliment. Now, another bad habit to break because it derails your success is number 3, hanging out with people who have no vision. Now, nearly everybody knows that their closest friends can have an effect, on their lives, but what most people don't realize is how profound this influence is on your level of success. They affect your self-confidence, your beliefs, your behaviors, your spending habits, your health choices, your religious and political views, your discipline or lack of it, and so much more. They say, do you want to get fit? Hang out with fit people. Do you want to be rich? Spend time with rich people. Because we tend to feed off each other's energy. So think about this. How do you act when you're around your closest friends? Do your wildest impulses take over? Do you tend to drink too much alcohol or eat more junk food or talk bad about other people, complain, spend all your money? If so, then these friends are not supporting your new mindset for success. Now, on the contrary, when you leave dinner with your friends, do you jump in the car feeling inspired, stretched, encouraged, and challenged to come up higher? Then you've got the right associations. Jesus loved everybody. Tax collectors, prostitutes, thieves, adulterers, you name it. But he was very selective about his inner circle. And yes, he had 12 disciples, but think about it. He spent most of his time with 3, Peter, James, and John. So, successful people are very careful and very intentional about their inner circle. So, look at the 5 people around you. What are their goals and aspirations for life? Do they support yours or derail yours? Make a list of the people around you that inspire you. Seriously, make that list and then spend as much time as possible with them. Bible says, walk with wise men and you'll become wise. Associate with fools and you'll get in trouble. Another bad habit to definitely break this year, number 2, is being late. Now, for some people, being on time seems almost impossible. Even if they have all day to prepare, they're still running around in a frenzy trying to get out the door 10 minutes late. I was at a restaurant the other day with a group of ladies, and one of them arrived about 15 minutes late, laughing it off as no big deal. I didn't know this lady. It was my first time to meet her, but she was just laughing like it's no big deal and it's no indicator of being unsuccessful. And she said, I'm late to everything. She said, it's the story of my life. Well, to be honest, it's no laughing matter. I read an article the other day that said, chronic lateness communicates a subtle yet strong message. You're inconsiderate of other people's schedules, you're a procrastinator, you're not an effective time manager, you're selfish, you're unreliable, and you're not in control. I feel bad even saying all that, but study after study shows this to be the message you're giving about your lateness. Not intentionally. I don't think you intentionally mean to do that. Any of us do. Now, I don't want to be too harsh, so please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should never be late, and if you are, you're a loser. That's not what I'm saying. It's impossible to not be late sometime. But when you're always late to everything, church, dinners, sporting events, family gatherings, doctor's appointments, airport pickups, that's when it's a major problem. So start by setting a goal to be on time 21 days straight. I mean, seriously, get a calendar and mark through every day that you show up on time. And when you make this small but very significant change in your routine, it instantly communicates that you care, you're in control, you're proactive, and you have the habits of a successful person. So, again, I want to help you not only break these bad habits, but gain the 5 habits of the most successful people in the world. So this week, I'm giving our subscribers the free chapter from my book, 5 Things Successful People Do Before 8 a.m. All you have to do is subscribe by pushing the little arrow below and then click the link in the description to get your free chapter today. And the number 1 habit you must break is something I learned from Jack Canfield in his best-selling book, The Success Principles. The first chapter said the first key to success is to take 100% responsibility for your life. Canfield repeatedly declares that there is only one person responsible for the outcome of your life, and that's you. In fact, Zig Ziglar said, as a young, aspiring speaker, he said, I heard a motivator say, you are where you are because that's exactly where you chose to be. He said, I was broke, in debt, and down in the dumps. But he said it came through loud and clear that I was where I was and what I was because of the choices and decisions I made. And of course, he changed his life. So what is that number 1 habit that you must break if you want to be successful? Blaming others. Here's the thing. When everything that goes wrong in your life is somebody else's fault, you're given a message that you are powerless, you're passive, and you're in the passenger seat of your own destiny. Are you truly that powerless? No. You have the choice today to get in the driver's seat by taking 100% responsibility for where you go from this day forward. So that's why I want to help you the way I learned with this week's free download. And I believe when you take charge of your morning routine, you're going to take charge of your whole life. That's where it all changed for me. So click the link in the description to get a free chapter called The 5 Morning Habits for a Successful Life, taken straight from my best-selling book. And remember, I'm cheering you on to live your dreams. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and to get more inspirational content, click one of these videos right here. And remember, I'm cheering you on to live your dreams.